What's going on, guys? This is episode 4 of Road to the Meet. I'm here with Ani.
What's up?
We just got back from vacation, and we're trying to get back into the swing of things. I went to Nashville. Ani, you went to Disney World, right?
Yeah, I went to Disneyland in California.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're trying to get back into our normal regular training and the videos. So we have 90 days till our meet, 12 weeks.
12 weeks out.
We're gonna start dialing it in. I feel like we've been kind of lax up until this point, and now it's really time to step up. Okay.
When you're 12 weeks out, I mean, that's when the shit gets real. And I don't know how to speak for you, Dom, but I am ready to go.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I just started a new training block last week, and the weights are starting to ramp up again. I feel like in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna start upping the intensity. Start getting more towards the specificity of training for strength. I feel like these last couple blocks I've been doing, they're all more high volume, but now it's time to start tapering it. I feel a little bit. I don't know how you're structuring your programming, Ani, but
much the same. We do have those hypertrophy blocks before we begin the strength phase. For me, it's been kind of there's an intermediary period between my last test and the beginning of this current training cycle that I'm about to go under, which is going to be 12 weeks long, where it was kind of I wanted to build, but at the same time I didn't really kind of go anywhere with it. So it was more hypertrophy work. I pushed my accessories pretty hard, and pushing the dumbbell movements, pushing the cable movements, and stuff that wasn't a big three. But now it's ready to go, and we're going to start the taper and focus a lot more on the big three. I think the big three at this point is going to comprise probably more than 50% of my current training volume in total out of all the things that I do. So that's how you know shit's getting real.
Yeah. And you said you're going to try to add a third training session for squats a week?
Really what it is I wanted to reorganize the way that I did my training. And specifically working on benching right after I squat. And because my bench frequency is already 3 times per week, I figured, my squat frequency should match that if I'm going to really experiment with this kind of training. Because in the past, I've squatted and benched on the same day, and it's never really felt good. But if I'm going to take that leap and become a powerlifter and actually go do a meet, it's something that I'm going to have to do. So I figured this, especially now that we're 12 weeks out, this is a great place to start. And for the next 12 weeks, I'll be squatting and benching on the same day 3 times per week.
Nice.
So it should be fun.
And as far as my training, the only thing notable that I've changed recently, and I talked about it a little bit in the last episode, but I've moved my grip in a lot on bench. I'm doing more of I'm doing a close grip bench as my main bench movement. It's not even a variation at this point. It's my competition bench, just because I've had the shoulder issue. I'm going to see a physical therapist soon. So I'm trying to work through it. But as of right now, the only way for me to press without any, pain is to go really close grip, which I'd rather be able to bench frequently with a close grip than only be able to bench once in a while wide grip. It's just not optimal for me right now. And I showed Ani earlier, I'll put it in the video, but even for my dumbbell variation, I was doing flat dumbbell press. I even moved that in with a very tucked elbow, and it feels great on the shoulder. I feel like a lot of people have probably experienced this, where very wide, if you have your elbows at a 90 degree, sometimes it can really bang up your shoulders. And even using something like a Swiss bar, we talked about that. Alpha Destiny, I think, recommended it to Jeff Nippard, and a Swiss bar can really take a lot of pain off your shoulders. It's definitely something you could put in as a variation if you're having shoulder issues.
Dom, I would just like to ask, because I haven't really seen you, how close is close?
Yeah, I'll try to get some footage of that too, but my close grip is probably even closer than some people normally do it. Because as far as powerlifters go, because powerlifters, they kind of look at close grip as a couple finger lengths in from their competition grip. I'm doing it like how a bodybuilder would probably do close grip. And it just feels the best right now. Yeah, I'm right at the edge of the knurling, maybe a couple finger lengths out from the edge.
That is really close.
yeah. And hopefully I can start to move it out as I get closer to the meet. But I don't think I'll be able to go like as far as I really want to within the time span that I have. But I'll make do. It's not the end of the world, guys.
Do you think your strength has taken a bit of a hit? Like, how far off do you think your close grip is from your regular grip?
That's a good question. I haven't really tested it too high of an intensity yet, but I'm guessing my close grip is probably like, 20 pounds less in terms of a 1 rep max, but I haven't tested it. So, I mean, maybe I could get like 225 close grip. I don't know if I had like a competition like standard, but I haven't ramped up the intensity yet with bench to know how strong I am. So I will be curious to see how that goes.
225, my ass. You're gonna push 250. I know it. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think close grip puts your shoulders in a much more favorable position, and obviously, Swiss bar would do even more than that because you're at a neutral grip. So there's no flare at all. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Is your shoulder feeling okay? Just like in general, like day to day.
Yeah, my shoulder's feeling a lot better, especially since I've, altered my training like this, and I've been doing a lot of like rehab type exercises. I do a lot of like external rotation kind of work, and just a lot of general shoulder, lightweight, like strength work, just to, kind of strengthen my shoulder without, putting too much, fatigue on it. But I'm going to be interested to see what my physical therapist kind of prescribes me in terms of rehab. And hopefully he gives me some new tips and pointers just to get me feeling a lot better. And yeah, so I mean, I feel pretty good all around. Sometimes I kind of feel it when I press, but as of recently, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I've kind of struggled with external rotation myself, but I think it's just a mobility thing, especially for the deadlift, like getting that supinated hand into the proper position for me. That's why I showed on my Instagram, and maybe we can put a clip up. I did a top set of deadlifts. It was 345 pounds for a triple, which moved surprisingly really, really well after coming off of the vacation. I was expecting everything to move kind of trash, and the bench is the one, for me personally, that always, when I come back from a hiatus, is always the first one to go, and it takes like the most amount of time to kind of remember how to bench. Right. So I did bench 255 pounds for a set of 5, and I think it looks a little bit better than it feels.
What's your like 5 rep max like all time?
It's a good question. Maybe 285 pounds.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. I think.
Because I mean, I saw the 255 that you had pressed. It looked pretty fast. Like it looked manageable.
Yeah, the thing was like I just felt like I wasn't tight. Now I'm back at my parents' house, so for another week. So I am going to the old gym that I used to go to. So and their benches are different than mine. They have the assister arms, but also I feel like they're kind of lower to the ground. And I feel like the pad is just slightly narrower. It's really weird. I can't wait to go back to my university gym, but maybe that was what was throwing me off. But I did notice that every single time I come back from a hiatus for any amount of time, that the bench is the hardest thing to kind of get back into the groove. But, once I'm in that groove, like, it just flies.
I just worked out today after coming back from vacation, and like I felt a little bit out of it, but I showed you my deadlifts, I felt like moved really well. I did 355 pounds for 4 conventional deadlifts, and I think I'm going to make the decision to just do conventional for the meet instead of trying sumo, just because it's a lot easy technically. A lot more easy for me. Like, I don't know. Sumo feels kind of strange for me right now on like my adductors and my hamstrings. It just kind of feels like I'm going to like rip something or something. Obviously I'm probably not, but it just doesn't feel comfortable. Whereas conventional, like I have no issues. It just feels great. And I feel like my form's pretty clean.
What's crazy? Seeing that you're conventional deadlift. I know I mentioned this to you before, but it looks really natural. You couldn't tell that you had just spent the last few months doing sumo as your primary. Like, it looks like you're a conventional puller. So yeah, I mean, that's good. That's a good sign.
I do think I want to transition to more of like my sumo, like more sumo as my like prime mover eventually, just because I just feel like it's a lot easier to do in terms of range of motion, and I feel like it's more like optimal for powerlifting. But as of right now, conventional just feels a lot more natural. So I think I'm going to stick with it.
With the whole thing about trying to get my shoulder into external rotation to do the supinated grip, which for me is always my right hand. My right hand is always supinated. That it was kind of tough, and that's why you'll see on that 345 that I use straps. for the top set. And on the back off sets, I do mixed grip, and all my warm-up sets, I do double overs up till 275, and then for the last warm-up, which is 3 plates, I'll use a mixed grip as well. But I'm working on that. That's kind of my next challenge. So I fixed my ankles, so now I can hit depth. But now it's working on the lats and the shoulder mobility, so I can find a good position on my back for the squat. It's more comfortable without feeling like I'm gonna tear my bicep off, which has been an issue for me for a minute now. It's very annoying. And then also working on external rotation of the shoulders so that I can get into that supinated position and feel like it's a strong position, and not feel like I'm like forcing a grip that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of why I haven't really done a lot of like really hard sets without straps, which is a problem because I don't want my grip to go, you know what I'm saying? And straps are not legal, so I'm gonna have to figure out, but I'm working on it, so hopefully it'll fix itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that as you get closer to the meet, you just want to keep adjusting and trying to get as close to, competition standard as possible and get used to that. I feel like that comes with like the specificity of training. It's like as you get closer to your meet, you're trying to get, your strength as close, like you're trying to get closer to a 1 rep singles and stuff like that, and like while tapering volume, as well as making sure all your form's on point and trying to get it as a competition standard.
That's why specificity going into a meet, like you'll see guys 4 weeks out, they'll put on their singlets, they'll put on all their gear. And it's like they want to be as competition specific as possible the closer and closer they are to the meet. So, I don't know, man. Hey, Dom, we'll see you in a singlet in a couple months. Is that what's going to happen?
Maybe. I might have to go to a powerlifting gym for that. I don't want to go to a commercial gym in a singlet. It'd be kind of embarrassing, I feel.
Hey, man, I got a university gym. I don't know what's worse.
that might be worse, yeah.
Shit, we got to do what we got to do, though. Well, everybody, that is going to conclude this episode of Road to the Meet, episode 4. Just a reminder, we are 12 weeks out from this point, which is crazy. I can't believe we're already 12 weeks out. But, like I said, the shit's getting real. It's about to get rampy. And I think the most interesting episodes are about to come out. And we'll have some great stuff to talk about. This is where we get to talk about the training specifically, like, I don't know, we get into minutiae stuff, which is the stuff that I care about the most, or that I find the most interesting. But anyway, that is for the future, and right now we are ending this episode. If you want to keep following along with us, you can subscribe to my channel, which is where this is going to be on. You can also check out Dom's channel. It's going to be linked in the description, as well as follow Dom on TikTok. He's got the Natty Lifting handle, which again, I say this every week, but props for getting that. So anyway, you can follow him at Natty Lifting on TikTok. That's where he's the most active. I'm more of an Instagram person, so you can follow me at sxbertooth with an X_. And yeah, I think that's about it. So we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks. See you guys.